Hello my friends, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Tabs and I am the maker and creator behind Safari Stitches. And today is just like a little bit of a mishmash of goodies and fun and crocheting. And you want to say hi, Rosie Posey? Uh-oh, I'm dropping things. You want to say hello to everybody? Say hi. She's sleeping, managing the business well over here. Just chilling and hanging out. Rosie, when are you going to grow some opposable thumbs so you can learn how to crochet? She also hasn't eaten her breakfast, and it's 10:45. So, not a hungry girl, are you? She's like, please let me nap in peace. Anyways, so yeah, today is pretty much a full day in the studio. So I figured I would hop on and give you guys an update on everything I have been working on over the last couple of days. I haven't really filmed a ton until now. And so I'm just going to show you everything that I have made, and we will just kind of go from there. Over the last couple of days, I have been getting my ducks in a row. Christine, haha, I posted about it over on Instagram, but we got lots of ducks over here. I made 9 Della ducks. I am trying to get extremely well prepped for my fall markets. I unfortunately missed the cutoff date for the big market I was hoping to do in the middle of October. I'm kind of bummed about it. I got on to go check to see if they had announced that they were looking for vendors, and it closed back in early July. And I never saw the post asking for vendor applications. I never saw any of it. So I'm pretty upset about it, but it's fine. It happens. We'll move on. It is what it is. So I still have a bunch of really large markets to get ready for. So I am prepping like crazy, and all of these guys are done. They have their eyes, they are tagged, barcoded, and photos have been taken. They've been uploaded to my website. So they are available for sale if anybody would like to snag one before the craziness of the fall season starts. But I believe I made 2 in this dark brown mallard, and I only have 1 left of this tan one. I ran out of baby sand. That's what this color is, this brownish tan color. I need to order some, but I hate ordering burnout blanket online because it's always so stinking expensive, and I just don't like it. So I'm trying to find an alternate color that isn't quite as dark as this brown, although I do really like this brown. I don't like the combination with the dove gray. So, I mean, I do, but I don't. It's almost too contrasty, so I don't know if I just need to make the whole body in this tan color. Let me know what you think. If I should leave it as is, find an alternate to this color. Like, I feel like that would actually look quite nice together, the baby sand. So I need to find an alternate to baby sand, I think, is kind of what I'm getting at. I have this color from Premier. This is actually called Sand, and it's got more of a yellow tone compared to baby sand, so it's not quite right for what I'm looking for. And I definitely don't think it would go. Yeah, that's just not really the vibe that I'm going for. So that said, if anybody has a color suggestion from Premier that looks similar to the baby sand in person, obviously shopping online is a little bit more difficult for colors because it always looks different in person than it does online. But I've got these guys. Like I said, I've got 2 in this colorway, and like I said, I love the darker brown with the green and the cream. It's the bottom piece that I'm kind of leaning towards adjusting. So I've got these, 1 more in this colorway, 2 available in this colorway. I have 3 little yellow duckies. I just started offering yellow in my lineup for Della ducks, and they are actually quite popular. I sell a lot of yellow, or I sold a lot of yellow at my last market, and then mallard was the next best seller. And then I have 4 of these guys. I made 3 because I was just going to do 3 of each color to take to my markets in the fall. And then I was looking through a whip basket and I found another one. So I have 4 of the cream. I don't know if I used whipped cream or vintage white. I can't remember, but I have 4 of these guys. So that is that. Then I moved on. I'm trying to alternate between larger projects and smaller projects because just to kind of, I really love making larger projects. That is like my favorite thing to do, is just to sit down and make a large project. But obviously I need to keep the smaller projects in mind and keep those stocked and ready for markets. So I moved on to making bees. The duck is shot mod threads. I'm sure, unless you've been living under a rock, you probably know that Della Duck is from Shop Mod Threads. This is my own pattern, and I have started making a mix of hard plastic safety eyes and embroidered eyes on the bees. Right now I have 4 yellow bees with safety eyes, and I made 2 without eyes so that I can embroider the eyes on later. So I'm going to have a smaller amount with the embroidered eyes and more with the safety eyes, just to kind of test things out and see which ones sell better, which if I was smart, I probably would have just done half and half, and I did not. And I am trying to stash bust some of the colors of Michael's Sweet Snuggles and Chenille Home Slim that I don't necessarily use as frequently. So I got this dusty pink. I believe it is Chenille Home Slim. I actually really, really like it, and I made 2 in this pink and black colorway. I want to have 6 of each color that I decide to make ready and prepped. So I've got that in the back of my mind. When I need a break from larger projects, I'm just picking up a couple of bead colors and I'm cranking those out. Then I decided to pick up my handy dandy jar of unmade projects, and I'm so excited. I'm excited about this pattern, but I'm also really, really sad that I slept on it for so long. This pattern is by Jen's Crafty Creations. Little Henry the Hedgehog. And I went with this really, really cool Bernat. I want to say this color is Tabby, I believe, is the colorway for this one. The quills took forever. I'm not even kidding you. It took me so long to do the quills on the back. And then after doing the quills, you sew the head on to the body. And that was quite an ordeal. Absolutely adorable. I highly recommend. It's super cute. The pattern is well laid out. She's got photos, and then there's video tutorials included, all of everything that you could possibly need to make it, and it comes out so cute. I love it. So there's that. I need to make at least 1 more of those. I'll probably make quite a few just to have a good inventory. Then I was influenced by, I can't remember, I think it was actually Crafty Kate. She posted a while ago, she did a drag and drop over on Palm Street, and she was making ditty decks. And then Shannon at Case and Crochet also was making a ditty decks, or made a ditty decks for the last market she had. So I was influenced by those two to get that pattern. And I made a little tie-dye ditty decks. I really like the pattern. I think it's absolutely adorable. I am probably going to modify the pattern just to stitch. To be a little bit less sewing, because literally every single thing on here is sewn on except for the spikes. I think I might try to modify it myself just to make it a little bit more market prep friendly. I did not do the DK weight horns on the top. I surface crocheted a bobble stitch onto the head, and I think it's perfectly fine. So that's probably what I'll do for those, but it's really, really cute. I feel like I've had a very productive couple of days. I am going to go grab some food and some, like a drink of some kind. I'm not really sure yet. That is my update as of right now. I do also need to make a list of everything that I need to market prep, which I fear could be quite a lot. So yeah, that might be something I do while I'm live on YouTube, just to kind of be a little bit productive. And yeah, okay. I'm gonna get a drink because I'm a little thirsty, and then I'll touch base with you guys in a little while. Hello. It's been, I honestly don't remember what I filmed the last time I hit record on this camera. So, oh, now you can hear Sadie. Hi. First off, I literally think I did an introduction, and then I don't remember what I did after that. So I think I'm going to just start with a few of the things that I have made over the last, I don't know, honestly. And I may have shown you at least one of these things. I don't know at the moment. Also, just kind of excuse this. I have to drive. My car is at the mechanic being fixed from when I got in my car accident back in May. And I'm driving a Jeep Wrangler that doesn't have a top. And it's very windy. So forgive what's going on here. I'm a sporty girl. Why did I do that? Anyways, the first thing is, of course, love cats. I've got two that need to go out tomorrow, so I just finished the second one. This is the first one. Just a tabby cat. It has a pretty solid black back on it. And I've already sent pictures of this one to my customer, and she has already approved this one. And then I literally just finished this one. Super adorable. I just sent her pictures, so I'm waiting to hear back on that one. But those are done. Those will go out tomorrow. I think those are all the finished projects that I've done. I haven't really done much else with regards to starting and finishing. I've started a lot, haven't finished a lot. So now we're going to move into my second hobby that I do as a result of this business, and that is yarn collecting. I got 2 packages from Premier. The first one is a result of Christine, What's Up Cupcake. She told me that Premier dropped new colors, or I think we have since established that a few of the colors that they dropped were actually limited colors from a previous limited edition drop. I don't know. I don't really pay attention. Like, I haven't been shopping with Premier long enough to know if they were originally meant to be limited. I don't know, honestly. So this is the first box. It's huge. It's massive. I'm excited because if you crochet or knit or do any type of fiber art or craft, you know, like, the products or the supplies that you need is also a hobby, like collecting those supplies. And as you can see by the yarn wall behind me, you can't even see the whole thing. I collect yarn that I never end up crocheting with. So with that said, we're going to get right into it. I think majority of this was all the new drop. And it's largely Premier Parfait Chunky. My battery's about to die. Hold on. Okay. I have 2 skeins of marshmallow. I really like this color. I really, really, really like this color. I really, really like this color. I am a neutral, like, fall girly. So these colors just really spoke to my heart. This is the color Chestnut. I just love the brown shade options in this yarn that I have not been able to find in any other brand. Premier definitely has the widest range of colors for their chenille, like the velvet yarn. I know they say Premier Basic Chenille, but that is more of a blanket yarn, whereas this to me is chenille, which, I mean, it's just semantics. It's whatever you want to call it. This is the color Seal. I was just out of this one. This is not new from what I remember. I genuinely don't remember anything. I do know I was almost out of this light blue. This is the color light blue. So I got 2 skeins of that. This is the color Artichoke. I love this so much. More green. This is Kelly Green. This is a really fun color. I'm envisioning turtles. Next is Apricot. Again, super adorable. I really wish I could buy more skeins of each color because since the skeins are smaller than what I'm used to, I'm scared I'm just going to run out of stuff to crochet with, which honestly, irrational thought, but it's fine. This is Summer Squash. Super bright yellow, which we love. And then this really bright green is Pistachio. So just to kind of give you a color comparison, Kelly Green and Pistachio next to each other, and then even next to Artichoke. Can you tell I really like the color green? Is that like obvious here? And then, again, I was running low on this because I make my bees out of this as well. I've got 2 skeins of Sunshine. And, again, running low for my bees, 2 skeins of Cotton Candy. Another green. I love this one. This one is Ivy. This is the color Ivy, and this is Rock Candy. I don't know. I think this was one of the limited edition drops. Somebody can correct me because, like I said, I haven't been shopping Premier for long enough to really know for sure. But I'm almost positive Rock Candy was one of the limited edition colors, and they've brought it back because I think I tried to get this color, and they were sold out when I went to try and buy some. So that's the first box. This is the second package. I vaguely remember what I ordered, but I can't remember if I also ordered other stuff with it. So majority of this order is Little Bunny because I have an idea and I'm really excited about it. Oh, I like this. I tried crocheting with the bunny yarn from Premier, and I didn't love crocheting with it. I don't like the long pile fur yarn, but I actually really, really like this. It almost feels like a terry cloth material. I don't really know how to describe it. But I got 2 skeins of white. And like I said, I have an idea for this yarn. It's going to be an upcoming video. You guys are probably going to hate it, but I'm excited. And then I got 2 lilac, which is a purple. I got 2 in the mint green. And I got 2 in the bubblegum pink. And I got 2 in the color light blue. So those are, oh boy, I'm running out of space in this box. Those are the Little Bunny yarns that I bought. Then, I don't know if you guys have seen, but Shop Mod Threads came out with her first wearable pattern. And I love Shop Mod Threads patterns. I mean, you guys see me make Della Ducks in all the sizes and all the colors on here. And so I was brainstorming ideas because I do want to have wearables at my big fall markets because I feel like it's a really good place to have them. So brainstorming color palettes for that cardigan. I already have started one that's a pastel rainbow, and then I'm going to flip them and do pastel rainbow sleeves with a cream back, and I'm really excited about that one. But I wanted to order some more neutral shades to make one of these cardigans out of, and when I say neutral, I mean fall shades. So I ordered their anti-pilling everyday worsted weight yarn. I have crocheted with this before and I love it. I love working with it. So I ordered the color palette for my cardigan out of this yarn. I got 2 skeins of fern green. I got 2 skeins of all of these. So just as a, this is cappuccino. This is meadow, fawn, mustard. So let me give you the full vision for, there it is. That is the color palette. I might add in cream just for some really small details. Like I'm thinking like a final row of the border or the ribbing, I guess, would be kind of cute. Just like a little cream detail, maybe in between the colors. I'm not really sure yet, but that's the color palette. I'm really excited about it. Like I told you guys, I'm a fall person. I love the fall. I love the weather. I love the colors. I love the vibes. I love the cozy. Fall is just chef's kiss. So of course I had to make something that was more fall themed. Now, will that make it into my market inventory? Debatable. Very, very highly debatable because, like I said, it's my favorite colors. So I think that's my update. I'm going to spend this evening working on finishing whips, and that's mostly embroidering eyes and just finishing things off because I have been sitting on a bucket of whips for about 2 months now, and I just need to rip off the Band-Aid and get them finished and call it good. Hello. Hi. Hello. It's been maybe a day since I last updated you. I'm not really sure what day was. I mean, obviously you've been watching. So there's been no time passed since the last clip for you. But for me, I think it's been at least a day. I don't think I filmed yesterday. I don't know. Anyways, I wanted to come on and give you guys an update because I have been hard at work, working on stuff, and sorry, I just almost dropped a plushie. Chaos has ensued. If anybody shops at Trader Joe's, I just need to give these black tea drinks a shout out. They've got black tea, white tea, and I think a green tea, and they all have different fruit juices mixed into them. This is the black tea with the peach juice in it, and the white tea has pineapple, and then I think the green tea has pomegranate. I'm not crazy about pomegranate, so I haven't tried that one, but the pineapple white tea and the peach black tea are insane. They're so good. So if you have a Trader Joe's near you or you like Trader Joe's, go grab you. It's like a 4-pack as just like a little treat. And especially like ice cold right now with this heat, just a nice tea, like an iced tea is just fantastic. Anyways, my little soapbox. But I wanted to come on because I have made quite a few little goodies to show you guys today. And we are in full market prep swing. Let me explain. So this past week, I finally got registered for one of my best markets. It's in the beginning of November. It's the first weekend in November. I have upgraded to a double booth. Call me crazy, but I have upgraded to a double booth. I have a 12-foot by 24-foot space, which literally sounds insane when I say that out loud. But that is what I've done, because it is the same price to have a double booth at this market than that it is for some of my other regular markets that are a little bit more pricey for a single space. So I decided if I was going to do a double booth, this would be the market to do it at. And the reason I'm doing that is because I don't know if you guys remember, if you've been here for a while, you know that I had some apparel. I had some apparel embroidered for my business, and they were a bit of a dud. I'm not going to lie, but they say serial crafter on there because when I first started my channel, that was kind of my shtick, was that I'm a serial crafter, because as you saw in my last video with my office tour, I do a little bit of everything when it comes to crafting. I crochet, embroider, cross stitch. I've tried making candles. I make stickers. I make bookmarks. I sew. What else do I do? I punch needle. I do micro crochet. I play with polymer clay. I color. I do macrame. Resin. I do safety eyes and stuff. I made jewelry at one point. I've got a laser engraver. So there's just a lot going on. So I call myself jokingly a serial crafter because I do a lot of crafts and sometimes they stick like crocheting does or did. Other times they're duds. Like when I tried candles, that was a no-go for me. I sold all of my candle stuff, so I don't have that anymore. Candles were just not my thing. If you make candles, honestly, I bow to you. That said, I had all of that embroidered. I have t-shirts and I have sweatshirts, and I haven't sold a single one yet, and I have them made really late last year, so I was only able to take them to one market, and then I took them I had them made early this year, and I only took them to one market because it was the last cold. It wasn't really even cold at that point, and they got a lot of interest, but nobody bit. So my plan is to take all of those with a clothing rack, and quite frankly, with my setup for my plushies, I just don't have space to do a whole other display for my apparel. So my plan is I've got shelving in there full of other apparel that's just blank, and I have a bunch of DTF transfers and some other things. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to just have an apparel section. So I'll have a clothing rack that has all of my embroidered and DTF transfer apparel on it. I'll have one clothing rack that has some crocheted cardigans and wearables on it, which I'm currently in progress. I'm hoping I can get enough done. We may just have one rack for all of the wearables. And then in the center, I just bought a pegboard divider, like a room divider. It's 4 panels and it's a pegboard. And my plan is to have that down the center. And on one side, I'm going to hang all of my beanies and my ear warmers. And then on the other side is going to be my snugglers. And then that will kind of lead into my crochet plushies and stuff. That's kind of my idea. We're going to reorganize the basement and shove everything to one side and then tape out a 12 by 24 foot space just so I can kind of get an idea of what kind of size. Like 24 feet sounds insane to me. And my tents are only 10 foot by 10 foot. So in theory, I could just do 10 by 10 and just have a buffer on either side of my space, just whatever. It'll be 4 foot total, so 2 foot on either side between me and the booth next to me, which could be kind of nice, honestly, to be able to get in and out of my booth space easily. So that's what I'm working with. Well, then I got an email on Monday of this week to let me know that my best market of last year, if you missed that video, it was the Christmas market I did. I did almost $2,000 in sales at that market last year. And it is the weekend after that. So we've got back-to-back weekends of insanity. And then on top of that, there's another Christmas market that I really want to do this year that I didn't do last year because I was overbooked. That is going to be the first weekend in December, I think. I think it's the first weekend in December. So we're really looking at 3 extremely large markets within the span of a month. So I am in crazy market prep right now. I went through, if you guys were on my live last week, I think it was on Sunday or maybe it was Friday's live. I can't remember. But I went through my Shopify to see what I was running low on and basically wrote down everything to restock. And I'm doubling my inventory of what I normally would take. I think for right now, I'm going to focus on just bringing my stock up to what it would normally be for a regular market. And then after that, like after I get everything restocked, then I will start doubling up on stuff. And the reason I'm doing it that way, because usually I do batch work, but right now my mentality, for whatever reason, I'm really struggling to stay focused on one type of project at a time. So I'm jumping around quite a lot. Now, I'm still batch making. I'm usually making at least 2 of each item at a time just to make it easier on myself. But some of these things are long track projects. And on top of that, I've got some other stuff to talk about. But so I'm just going to read you my list really quick. I don't have the prices written down of what I sell them for, but my goal is to have anywhere from $5,000 to $6,000 worth of inventory prepped before the first market, which could potentially be a little bit of a challenge because I have custom orders that I get through Etsy, and I'm building my Etsy back up as well as loading everything to my Shopify. Granted, if anything sells on Shopify, it's ready to ship, so it doesn't really affect me in the fact that I have to drop everything to make it and ship it. But Etsy is all pretty much made to order items, and I'm not shutting that down. So let me just read you my list really quick, and we can discuss. So I have 3 mini Anchor the Octopus, 1 big Anchor the Octopus. Baby bees, I have yellow, pink, green, blue, purple, and then a teal color that I've added in a hot pink. And I'm going to make 10 of each of those, which is a lot of bees. The Bitty Cookie the Cow Snuggler, I'm making 5. Chubby Ducks, mallard version and the white version. I want between probably close to like 20 of each to be like really overstocked because those tend to be, well, especially the mallard tend to be my best seller, one of my best sellers. I want 5 cow plushies. I want 5 hanging plants, 5 curly plants, 3 bear snugglers. I need to make 5 large bees. I have none at the moment. 3 large cows, 2 large dino snugglers, 2 unicorn snugglers, 2 lion plushies, 2 llama snugglers, 2 possum snugglers, 2 rhinos, 3 large sea turtles, 10 mini loaf cat, 10 mini loaf cats, 4 small possums because that's just restocking what I had, 5 small sea turtles, and 4 zebra snugglers, and then 4 hedgehogs, which I already have 1, I just haven't marked it off, and then Diddy Dex dragons. That is not everything. I'm still working on this list. I'm still refining it. I'm just, as I work through patterns, destashing and making things that I have bought from my pattern bank and never made. I also need to stock up on some loaf cats from my markets. I've got a really fun idea for that. I also want to do a couple of online markets. So with that said, I have been doing a little bit of work here in the background, and I'm going to show you guys what I've made so far. So this first one is part of my pattern bank stash bust, and it is Beam the Knotted Plushie Bear by Mama Made Minis, and I stash busted the blue yarn. I think I'm going to change the nose to black. I don't really know how I feel about the chocolate brown nose, but this was the first one. I have not added this to my market prep list because I don't know if I want to make another one. I'm not really sure. I really like these knotted plushies, but they are on the more expensive side just because of the time commitment. They're about the same as my snugglers. I charge $50 for these and $45 for my Mama Made Minis larger snugglers. So they are on the more expensive side, and they don't tend to sell super quickly for me, but I might make a black or brown bear, or maybe even a gray one. I'm not really sure, just to offset the blue. So there's the first thing I made. I'm going to toss him over into my photo bucket. Then the next thing I worked on was Ditty decks. So I want to make 5 of these, and I was inspired by Crafty Kate and Shannon at Case and Crochet. I know Crafty Kate makes the tie-dye ones, and then Shannon over at Case and Crochet, she posted that she sold one at her most recent market. And so thank you, ladies, for influencing me. So I went on to Premiere, and I actually bought the tie-dye ones because I really love the look of the tie-dye ones that Crafty Kate made, and I've done my own version. So we've got this cutie little vibrant rainbow Ditty decks with yellow accents. So that's the first one. And this one I made exactly like the pattern, wrote it out. Except for the horns, I did surface crochet the bobble stitch on there instead of using worsted weight or DK weight yarn to make the horns and then sew them on. After that, I used a size 6mm hook on that one. I should have kept that in my hands. I said, this is just pure. I just held this up like it was my microphone. That is how my day is going today. Anyways, so I made this with a 6mm hook, and this is, like I said, Premier Basics chenille yarn, and I generally use a 6mm with Bernat blanket, and I found that Premier Basics chenille is ever so slightly smaller. So I decided a 6mm hook was going to be good enough, and quite frankly, it was so hard to work with, and it took me a while because you literally sew every single piece on except for you surface crochet the head spikes in. Everything else you make separately and you sew on. So there's a lot of sewing involved with such a tiny thing. It's a very well written pattern. I'm not saying anything against that at all. However, I did modify the pattern to be low sew, and I went up a hook size to a size 7mm hook, and it was so much better. So highly recommend, if you're going to make it, use a 7mm hook. But then I went and made this cutie little pastel with this bright green, like a teal. I can't think of the color. I don't know what the color is off the top of my head. So I made that, but just to show you the size difference between the two. It's not super noticeable. You can tell like the thickness of the tail is totally different, and like the size of the body is very different. But I prefer this one so much more, but I modified the pattern so that the legs are crocheted into the body, and then the body is crocheted into the head. So the only sewing that I have to do on this version is sewing the wings to the back and sewing the ears to the head. Everything else I crochet in. So I'm obsessed. So that's the second one. This one I think is probably my favorite. I love, love, love this yarn. But I made this, it's kind of like I don't even know how to describe it. I think this one is this called kaleidoscope? No. I don't know what it's called, but that's what it reminds me of, is a kaleidoscope. And then I did this really pretty dark teal accent. Yeah. I love this pattern so much, and even more so after I modified it to be a little bit less sewing. On top of that, today I decided to tackle the bear snugglers. So I made a brown bear, and I just made these in solid colors. It's the brown tweed blanket yarn by Bernat Blanket, and then I made a black bear, and I kind of am obsessed with the black bear. I can't even lie to you. So I still obviously need to embroider the nose and the eyes, which is why they're sitting over here behind me so that they can go into my whip bucket. But I made those. Then I decided to take a little bit of a break from restocking, and I wanted to pull from my jar of wonders is what I call it now. If you're unfamiliar, I started this series on my Instagram maybe a month or so ago. It's been quite a while, but I went through my Etsy, my Ravelry, and my emails, and I found every single pattern that I have ever purchased and spent money on. This is not including free patterns. And I wrote them down, and I cut them into little tiny bits of paper, and I stuck them in a jar, and every so often I will pick one out and I will make whatever comes out. This time I drew one, and unfortunately there's quite a lot of patterns in my pattern stash that are larger projects. And I'm saying that as a preface to what I'm about to show you, because I drew, there we go, Boho Rainbow Baby Blanket by Chloe Kate. It's a baby blanket, and I'm not a blanket maker. I just don't think that the amount of effort and time that goes into blankets is worth it. Now, granted, baby blankets are a little bit different because they're smaller, but you still have to charge. I mean, I'm going to charge what I'm worth based on what I charge for my plushies. The pattern is adorable. I bought it because it's super stinking cute. Here, I'll pop up a picture of the pattern image here. And of course, everything I've mentioned will be listed in the description below as well. So don't worry, you'll be able to find it if you want it. So I picked out my color palettes, and let's go take a look because I'm kind of excited. This is it right here. So that's kind of what we're working with. I'm questioning this one because it's a bit lighter compared to the darker colors, but I think I might leave it just to kind of break it up a little bit. But yeah, got the chain and round one in progress. So I'm about to grab some water and a snack, and I'm going to go get cozy on the couch. And I'm going to get caught up on some of my shows that I haven't been able to watch. I think it's about to rain, which just makes it even cozier, so I'm excited. Do you want to say hi to Rosie? You want to say hi, girl? Say hello. She didn't eat her breakfast. She's sleeping. You're getting to sleep? Yeah. She's like, please leave me alone. Let me sleep in peace. I'm going to stop yapping now because it's been half an hour. What? I'm going to go. Good morning. Happy Thursday. Good morning from the sleepyhead over here. Hey, say good morning. Say good morning. No? Okay. Anyways, my first update of the day. It is a little gloomy out, so obviously the perfect day to be crocheting. I wanted to give you an update because I did in fact start the rainbow baby blanket last night. Low-key, I'm kind of obsessed. I'll show you how far I've gotten. So we've gotten all the way through the yellow stripe, and I'm about to start on the orange. It's working up actually quite quick compared to, I don't know, I think I just have this warped view of blankets taking forever. And that's mostly because I see all these giant blankets that are like full size or queen size, or even just like a regular lap blanket, a lapgan. They all just look like they take forever. But this being a baby blanket, I don't know. I probably worked on it for maybe 2 hours last night, and I think I'm probably about 2 hours in. Last night I got all the way through the dark blue, and then this morning I've done the green and the yellow. But I really, really like it. I'm excited. I'm hoping to get through this blanket today because I really don't need two larger projects that are whips. Because I have a Jovi cardigan by Shop My Threads in progress, and I finished one panel and then I realized I goofed and I messed up. So, because I forgot that I modified the first part of the pattern and needed to make the front panel a little bit longer. So I have to frog like 15 to 20 rows of that front panel. So I just kind of set that aside because that was kind of devastating for me. It's working up really quickly, but to have to frog that much work, I don't know why I didn't check it beforehand. It was silly of me. Anyways, so I really would like to get this finished today just so I don't have another whip sitting, but I have added this to my market prep list. I want to have 2 for my markets coming up, and I think the next one, instead of doing the 7-color rainbow stripes, I'm going to do 4 colors, and I'm going to go more of a neutral. So I can't decide if I want to go more warm toned with like some grays and maybe like a dark blue, or because I really, really like this color that I have right here. So I'm thinking like gray tones and this blue would be really pretty. Otherwise, I'm thinking something along the lines of this brown and maybe the gold color. I don't know. I'm not really sure yet. Or like a tan, maybe like different tones of browns. I'm not sure. That's kind of what I'm leaning towards. I guess both of those are kind of warm tones. Or no, the blue is cool tone. The tan will be warm tone. Anyways, so I do want to make another one. It won't be happening. I'm only making the one for right now because this is not really something that I want to batch work, obviously. So I'm going to continue working on this. I have a meeting coming up here shortly where I'm not going to be doing a whole lot of talking, so I'm hoping I can really crank out some of this orange. That's my progress on that so far. I didn't work on anything else last night, just this blanket. So we're going to continue on working on this blanket, and then I'll touch base with you guys later.
Your parents came in the cul-de-sac, leaned back in a leather clad seat, pack of spirits in your potted bag. Suburban summer 17 was a roller coaster ride, a manic pixie dream girl right beside me, and she said she liked me, but I bet it was a right thing lining up at the wrong time. And I think maybe if I'd held on tight, she'd still be sitting by my side. I'll never know, I'll never know. I don't like messing with regrets, but I doubt you ever leave my head. What could I have done, could I have said? I'll never know, I'll never know.
Okay, I had a snag on my blanket. I started to use this Lion Brand Basic Stitch anti-pill yarn, and it has a totally different texture compared to the rest of, like, literally all of the yarns that I've used. It's a lot smoother. I'm assuming it's just the anti-pill texture, the way it's just wound together, I guess. So I didn't want to use it because it looked very shiny compared to the rest of the blanket. Unfortunately, I don't have another pink yarn. I grabbed the only other pink shade that I have, because most of the darker ones were so close to the purple that it looked like I was just redoing the purple, and it wasn't like that pinky mauve hue, whatever the color is. I don't honestly know. So I grabbed this color and I don't like it. It's too pastel for the blanket. It's just kind of weird. So sadly, I am going to have to set this aside until I can go find the color that I would like to use that has a similar texture. I really like how it's coming out. I love this color combo. So I'm just going to have to go find another pink to use. It probably will not be until this weekend. So we're just pushing pause. I really wanted to get this done today though, because now I'm scared that this is going to end up in my whip pile and I'm going to keep forgetting to get yarn to go with it. So anyways, that's my update. I'm really sad. I think I'm going to pull another pattern from my jar. That way I can at least get something filmed for social media today, because I skipped yesterday. I skipped last Sunday. I'm trying to be a lot better about posting, and I've actually created myself a content calendar for August to follow. So I actually need to go and look at that, and this weekend I'll be working on filming, like pre-filming content, so that I have stuff scheduled for the week. I'm going to pull another project from my jar and at least get started on another project. And then I think I'm going to work on my bucket of whips. I have a very large bucket of whips that I need to work on, not including the blanket that I just stopped, unfortunately, unless I can make it to the yarn store today, which probably will not happen. If I had gone to the office today, I probably would have stopped. Well, I wouldn't have even known that I needed another yarn. Actually, you know what? I'm going out tomorrow because I have a hair appointment tomorrow afternoon. So I will stop and get a skein of the yarn that I need to finish this blanket. And we will finish it tomorrow. I'm determined. I'm not going to have that in my whip bucket. We're going to do whips and probably draw another pattern from my jar. I did go ahead and draw another little slip from my jar, and I got Dusty Dragon Levy by Mama Made Minis, the knotted Levy. I am actually obsessed. I obviously have not put his eyes on him yet, but I went with one of the Bernat speckled yarns in, I want to say this one is called Typewriter, but it's the white with black speckles. I think I'm almost positive it's Typewriter. Almost positive. And that's what I paired it with. And I actually really, really like it. I almost went with a dark gray for the accent, but I was like, you know what? Let's kind of switch it up a little bit and do something a little bit fun. And then there's his little knobs on his tail and his little legs. I am actually quite in love with this. So I've made this one. I am going to work on the whips tonight. Basically putting eyes on snugglers and embroidering eyes on some of my bees, things like that. Something else that, have I talked about this yet? I don't know if I have or not, but I signed up for a market at the end of August. And I'm hoping you guys can help me brainstorm here. I don't think I have talked about this on camera yet. I've talked to a couple of people so far, and I've got some really good ideas, but I want to get some, I asked in my live last Sunday, I think. I signed up for a market that's at the end of August, and it's basically a vendor space that's adjacent to a bunch of retail shops. And the retail shops are having a bargain day. And it's like a bargain day and bar crawl or cocktail crawl, I think is what it's called. Bargain buys and cocktail crawl. Something like that. Anyways, I digress. It's not really that important. The fee was only $15. So I was like, you know what? Why not? It's cheap. That's the cheapest market I've ever done since I started doing this. And so So I signed up for it. And in the email, she didn't say we had to, but she was like, feel free to have a clearance shelf at your booth. The idea is to give shoppers a deal. And I was like, okay, I don't want to discount my plushies. I price them fairly based on the time I spend on them. Like, I have a whole system for pricing my items, and I don't really want to discount them. There's a handful of plushies that I've either had for a very long time or I just don't really like, and I would just like to clear out. So I don't mind clearancing those, because as long as I pay for my like yarn costs and maybe just like a little bit extra or whatever, that's fine. I don't mind discounting those just to move them out. And there's not that many. I can think off the top of my head, there's 4 things that I would like to just clear out and be gone. The other idea I had, because obviously I don't want to discount my items too much and hurt myself in the long run and make it not worth me trying to sell these plushies. So my idea was to have some little freebies. Basically, every purchase gets a freebie. And I used to have a bookish business. If you didn't know, you do now. And I had a ton of just printed paper, like patterned bookmarks that I laminate and I was selling individually. But I kid you not, I probably have 1,000 of these things. There's so many. And it's one of those things where I don't want to just get rid of them because I'm not a wasteful person. But I was thinking if I did like a bundle of like 5 or 10 bookmarks in a little mystery pack, I could do a freebie mystery pack bookmarks, which no, it's not really related to my business, except for I do have Kindle and book sleeves and I occasionally have bookmarks. But I also have a ton of stickers that I've just collected over the years, like literally hundreds of stickers. So I was thinking about having 2 bins, 1 bin full of mystery pack stickers and then 1 bin full of mystery pack bookmarks sitting up on my checkout stand. So whenever somebody rings, like whenever I ring up somebody, I'd be like, hey, do you want, like, you can have the choice, like every purchase today at this market gets a free pack of either stickers or bookmarks. They are mystery packs. And it could be a mix of literally anything, and just kind of do that to have like a freebie. And I mean, that's such minimal cost to me. The bookmarks probably cost me 10 cents. So if I do a pack of 10, it's $1. And then the stickers are probably less than, maybe like 2 cents a sticker. So you're really like not looking at a high cost of whatever. So I don't know. I'd love to know what your thoughts are, or if you have any other ideas. I was also thinking like, oh, if somebody spends more than $50, maybe have a bin of like $5 to $10 plushies underneath my table, like underneath my checkout stand. And if they spend over a certain amount, they get to pick something out of that bin. I did think about doing that too. I don't know. I would love to know your thoughts. But I am going to quit yapping again. And I'm going to go get cozy on the couch because I'm definitely not leaving the house tonight. It's supposed to stop at like 6:30, but by that point, I'm not going to want to leave the house. So I'm not going to. I will do it tomorrow. It's fine. But I think I'm just going to take my list over to the couch, and as I'm finishing things off, mark them off on my market prep list. And then that way I'm at least keeping up with what I'm making, because I have not been doing that, especially with the bees. So that's my plan. And then once I work through all of my whips, or at least a good portion of them, I'm probably going to go back to making some bees, because I have been quite heavily focused on some of the larger items on my market prep list, and I need to break it up a little bit. So I'm probably going to go back to bees. I'm also getting very hungry, so I'm going to go do that too. Hi, it's been a few days. It is Sunday, August 3rd. I think the last time I updated you was on Friday. It got a little hectic because I went and got my hair done. We're not quite as red this time. It's got like a little bit of a subtle red to it, which is really what I wanted the first time around, and it didn't work. So I'm happy with it. I wanted to come on and give you an update because I have, even though I haven't been filming, I have been working quite hard and I have quite a few things to show you guys. So first, I finished all 6 of the pink bees. I have 4 with safety eyes and 2 with little embroidered eyes. I've got yellow, 6 yellow, again 4 with safety eyes, 2 with embroidered eyes. I finished the green ones, so we've got 4 with safety eyes and 2 embroidered. So made a lot of headway on the bees, which is exciting. And it's kind of been nice to have smaller projects that are a little bit more mindless, that I can just kind of sit and watch TV and I don't really have to pay too much attention. I finished this guy. This is Dusty the Dragon, Knotted Lovey by Mama Made Minis. I finished this yesterday. In true Safari Stitches form, I had a custom love cap and I got that finished. I haven't finished it yet, mostly because it took me 2 days to track down a pink yarn to use. Yesterday, I ventured off to Hobby Lobby. I don't typically shop at Hobby Lobby, but this time, because Joann's is gone, that's really the only like high volume yarn store that I have near me. So I did go to Hobby Lobby, but I found the perfect pink. So I'm calling it a win, even though I don't like it. And I got the rainbow portion of the blanket finish, but this is like the vision that I had, and honestly this pink is so close to the original pink that I wanted to use, so it just worked out really perfectly, and I love it. I love it so much. So I blocked it overnight. You don't have to block it before you put the border on, but the pattern designer did recommend it, like, just because it'll be a little bit easier to crochet the border if it's already blocked. And then I will more than likely block it again when I finish the border. I'm really excited about it. I can't wait. I do want to make a second one, but it's not very high on my priority list at the moment. I also made 3 Diddy Decks dragons. I know they're upside down, sorry. That's like terrible. I think I made this in this video, this little guy. This might have been last week. I don't know. I've honestly lost so much, like I've lost track of everything. And last but not least, I made this cutie patootie little blue knotted lovey. Or knotted stuffy, plushy, whatever. I'm knotted a plushie. I am so tired, you guys. It's unbelievable. But I had a very productive week. I feel like I made a lot of items. I have a lot of ideas coming up for my next few videos. I'm excited. I think this month since we're getting into market season, I really want to do a market mix video. I'm not going to spoil too much about it because I'm still brainstorming my ideas around it, but I have a lot of ideas. But if you have anything else, if you have ideas on crochet challenges that I could do, I really want to do the how much can I crochet in 24 hours challenge. I really like the idea of that. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed. I know it was a little bit all over the place, and I feel like it was very productive, even though it was all over the place. So I hope during this video, you were able to get a lot done as well. As always, make sure to let us know in the comments what you were working on. Make sure to hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, so you don't miss any of my future videos. You can also hit that notification bell, and I think there's a way to personalize the notifications so you can see all the notifications. I have been going live on Friday afternoons to hang out with everybody. It's been a little bit finicky the last couple of weeks. I don't really know why. I've tried streaming from my phone and my computer, and for whatever reason, YouTube has not been very happy with my streams. It's just kind of cutting in and out. And so we're trying to do some troubleshooting, but every Friday I will be live here on YouTube. And if you hit the notification bell, you can turn it to all so that you get notified when I go live. And yeah, I think that's it for me, you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching and keeping me company this week while I worked really hard on getting some of my market prep done. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.